In the quiet countryside of Lane, South Carolina, an African-American woman named Maya leads a simple life as a digital nomad and photographer, capturing the beauty of her surroundings. Maya has always been drawn to the stars, feeling as if part of her belongs among them. Maya stands alone in the quiet of a rural night, her camera aimed at the vast stretch of stars above. She's capturing the glow of the moonlit sky, the silhouettes of trees, the gentle sway of tall grass under the midnight breeze. Suddenly, through her lens, she catches a flash of light streaking across the sky, quick and almost silent. The light arcs downward, landing in the open field just beyond her sightline. Her heart races. Curious, she follows it, her steps quick yet cautious as she moves closer to the source. When she reaches the open field, Maya stops, her breath hitching. Before her is an astonishing sight. A large, triangular-shaped spaceship rests silently on the ground, its surface gleaming faintly under the stars, casting a soft, otherworldly glow across the grass. She watches, frozen in awe, as a section of the ship lowers like a ramp, and out steps a tall figure, his skin like polished bronze under the moonlight, his clothes a metallic, shifting garment that seems to pulse with faint colors as he moves. The figure, confident and regal, stands at the edge of the ramp, scanning the landscape around him. Maya gasps softly and ducks behind a tree, peering around its trunk, her heart thundering. She watches him intently, caught between awe and disbelief. Kalen, standing in the field, suddenly looks directly in her direction, and Maya holds her breath. He seems aware of her presence, his face calm but intense, his gaze fixed on her hiding spot. Then, in a soft, melodic tone, Kalen begins to speak in a language that sounds fluid and strange to her ears. The words don't come from his mouth, but somehow resonate near her ear, as if carried by a gentle breeze. Maya inhales sharply, startled by the sound so close, yet stays hidden, unsure of his intentions. Seeing her reaction, Kalen raises his left arm, where a small glowing communicator device is strapped. He presses a series of buttons, and his voice shifts, transforming into English, warm and steady. Please, do not be afraid. I come in peace. I have traveled far and have no wish to harm you. Maya says to herself, Maya, black folks run from stuff like this. She hears a calm, reassuring tone that seems to be wry with laughter. I'm sure that they do. I've met a number of them who have run in the opposite direction or thought I some sky god and fall to their knees. However, I assure you that I mean you no harm. Hearing the calm, reassuring tone, Maya slowly steps out from behind the tree, still clutching her camera, her eyes wide with wonder. She takes in his appearance, his strong features, his confident stance, his calm, steady expression. Every part of him feels familiar, yet entirely extraordinary. They stand in the silence of the open field, two worlds meeting under the stars. Maya's curiosity begins to override her fear as she finds herself drawn to the mysterious stranger standing before her. A powerful silence fills the space between them, and neither of them feels the need to speak. Instead, their eyes lock, and an unspoken understanding flows between them, like a current humming with ancient familiarity. To Kalen, this quiet exchange is more than mere observation. His advanced technology begins running a silent, imperceptible health scan of her. He isn't scanning out of caution, but from a deep, instinctual curiosity about this woman who seems so different, yet strangely similar. A stream of data flows through his mind, offering a detailed view of her physical form, her bone density, blood flow, energy levels, even down to the most intricate aspects of her DNA. Maya feels an odd sensation, as though his gaze is peeling back layers of her soul, seeing parts of her that she barely knows herself. Yet she remains calm, comforted by a strange sense of safety and familiarity, as if she's in the presence of someone who has known her across lifetimes. Kalen's expression shifts subtly, his jaw tightening as the scan reveals something unexpected. Her genetic structure shows markers strikingly similar to his own species. But then, his brow furrows in subtle frustration as he notices signs of tampering. Her DNA, rich with potential, holds capped telomeres, indicators of deliberate limitation, designed to constrain her lifespan and restrict her capabilities. His kind had observed this interference in other worlds, where alien forces had tampered with native beings for their own ends. Seeing this now, within her, fills him with quiet indignation. He lets out a steadying breath, and as he exhales, the glow on his communicator dims slightly, the scan complete. He pulls his attention back to the woman before him. Maya, still holding his gaze, senses the shift in his mood, as if she can feel his frustration, though she doesn't know why. For a few more silent minutes, they simply look at each other. She feels as if Kalen's presence is brushing against her mind, conveying an understanding, a kinship deeper than words. She glimpses in his eyes a life of vast travels, stars and galaxies, of friends and strangers across worlds. And somehow, she feels he's seeing her entire life as well, her dreams and passions, her triumphs and wounds, and the quiet yearning that has always driven her to explore. To Kalen, the moment stretches, timeless, as if they've known each other for centuries, meeting and parting across the weave of time. He wonders if she feels it too, that feeling of recognition that defies explanation. He wants to tell her everything he's discovered, to explain the frustrations he feels at the limitations placed upon her by forces long gone from this world. But he remains silent, knowing that now is not the time. After what feels like lifetimes passed in silence, Maya breaks into a soft smile, as though understanding that he too carries unspoken mysteries. She takes a small step forward, offering him a sense of acceptance. He mirrors her movement, grounding himself in the trust that this connection is mutual, that they are bound by something ancient, something that feels as vast as the stars above them. As they finally draw apart, each feels a subtle, unspoken promise hanging in the air. Though they've only just met, a quiet certainty settles between them, echoing through that shared gaze. They are somehow, impossibly, bound to meet again. The grass sways gently as Maya and Kalen walk side by side through the field under the moonlight. After a few quiet moments, Maya gestures toward her small, cozy house at the edge of the field. It's a bit of a walk, but you're welcome to sit on the porch with me. There's a swing that's perfect for stargazing. Kalen smiles, his eyes softening as he nods. I would like that. It's rare I am invited to sit and observe. I usually find myself moving from one task to another. They reach the house, and Maya leads him to the porch, where a wide, wooden swing hangs, creaking softly as it moves in the breeze. They settle in, the swing gently swaying as they both gaze out into the starry night. I was wondering, are you traveling alone? Kalen tilts his head, his gaze drifting thoughtfully to the sky. Not alone, no. I have a crew with me. They are skilled, each of them with knowledge of different sciences, from biology to geology. Right now, they're gathering samples, minerals, plant life, atmospheric data, in various regions east of here. They study the land, the creatures, the very composition of this world. There is so much to learn. Maya raises her eyebrows, impressed. Wow, so you're not just explorers. You're scientists too? Smiling. Yes, in a way. We seek to understand not only the beauty of each world, but also its intricate systems. My crew, each of them, has their own fascination with different parts of your world. Some study the soil, others the waters, the forests. Each piece reveals something unique. That sounds incredible. You must see so many perspectives, having a team like that, and they're just okay with waiting while you're here, talking to me. Kalen chuckles softly, his gaze warm. They trust that my curiosity leads me well, and truthfully, they would understand my wanting to meet someone connected to this world. It brings a certain depth, one that no data or sample can convey. Maya smiles, relaxing as she gently rocks the swing with her foot. It sounds like you and your crew aren't that different from humans, really. In the end, we're all just trying to understand, to make sense of this big universe. Kalen nods slowly, his expression thoughtful. Perhaps that is what binds us, across stars and worlds, a common desire to know, to belong. Meeting you tonight, Maya, it feels as if I have found a piece of that belonging. Maya looks over at him, surprised by the sincerity in his words. She lets the quiet fill the air, the soft creak of the swing, and the gentle rustle of leaves, their only company. Maybe that's the gift of meeting someone from so far away. You get to see what's really universal, things that connect us all. Kalen's gaze lingers on her, a look of understanding and admiration in his eyes. Yes, and it reminds me that though I travel the galaxy, I too seek the same thing as you, to feel at home, even in unfamiliar places. They sit together in the stillness, the vastness of the night sky, both comforting and full of promise, as Kalen and Maya continue talking and continue to enjoy the moonlit night. The night is quiet, and stars shine brightly above, as Kalen and Maya sit, lost in conversation. Kalen looks at Maya with genuine curiosity. Tell me, Maya, what do you do on this planet? What fills your days? Maya smiles, glancing up at the sky as she thinks about how to describe her life. Well, I guess you could say I'm a digital nomad. I work for myself, mostly as a freelance photographer. I travel to different places, capturing moments, landscapes, and people in my photos. It gives me a lot of freedom. Kalen listens intently, his gaze never leaving her face. Digital nomad. Such a concept is new to me. Your freedom, does it mean you can choose your work whenever you wish? Nodding. Yes, exactly. I've built a few extra streams of income, so I'm not tied down to one thing. Some days I might be working all day, but other times I'll take weeks off to just explore. It's taken time, but I've built a life where I can travel, see the world, learn new languages, and make Earth feel like a big home. Kalen's eyes brighten, and he tilts his head thoughtfully. You travel across your world freely, visiting many places. This desire to see more of your home, it sounds familiar. Yeah, I want to see every part of it, every culture. There's so much out there, and even though I haven't been everywhere, it makes me feel connected to this planet. Of course, I avoid places with a lot of conflict, but there are so many beautiful places and people. Kalen's expression softens, a quiet admiration in his gaze. I understand. I feel much the same. Though for me, it is the galaxy that is my home. I've spent my life exploring its planets, moons, stars. Like you, I am drawn to the diversity in every place I visit. Each world has its own wonders, each encounter its own mystery. Smiling. So we're both explorers, I guess, just on different scales. Yes, he smiles back. On different scales, yet somehow with the same purpose. I did not expect to find someone here who shares that longing for discovery. It is a rare thing, even across the stars. Maya's eyes light up as she looks at him, surprised by the ease with which they understand each other. You know, I've always wondered if there were other beings out there who feel that way. But it's kind of amazing to actually meet one. Kalen chuckles softly, the sound melodic and gentle. And I, Maya, never imagined I would find such kinship with someone from a world so far from my own. Perhaps we're not as different as we seem. Kalen gestures toward the sky, his eyes filled with a spark of excitement as he speaks, his voice calm yet resonant. Out there, beyond the stars you see, there are worlds filled with colors you cannot yet imagine, skies that shift like ocean tides, and moons that sing as they rise each night. Each planet is a story, each star a memory. My journey has taken me to places where even the air hums with life. Maya's gaze is fixed on him, her eyes reflecting the stars above. She can't help but be drawn into his words. It sounds unreal. I've always looked up and wondered if anyone out there was doing the same, watching us, thinking about us. Kalen nods thoughtfully, as if understanding her longing. I've seen beings with wings like glass, who glide through storms of light, and creatures with voices that echo for miles, each sound capturing their entire history. I've met a race that speaks only in emotions, no words, just feelings shared directly from heart to heart. Maya laughs softly, captivated by his vivid descriptions. And they all seem so beautiful. Maya asked, "Do you ever feel alone? Have you ever wanted to experience all of that with a special someone?" Kalen looks at her, the warmth in his expression both alien and familiar. Sometimes, yes, even surrounded by millions, one can feel alone. That is why connection matters, even here, now. With you, Maya, I am finding something I never expected to find. Maya feels a soft blush rising on her cheeks, surprised by the sincerity in his tone. I never thought I'd be having this conversation, let alone with, well, someone from another galaxy. But it feels right. Kalen smiles, his eyes softening. The universe has a way of bringing together those who are meant to meet, whether across stars or within a single heartbeat. Maya looks up at him, her expression a mix of wonder and warmth. Then I guess I'm glad the universe brought you here, even if just for tonight. They stand there in the quiet night, two worlds meeting in shared wonder. The night deepens around them, with the stars shining brighter in the darkened sky. Maya sits silently, her mind racing as she contemplates the idea of unlocking her potential. But her thoughts keep circling back to Kalen himself. The connection between them feels so natural, almost as if they've met before. She senses that he too carries unanswered questions, hidden in his warm, steady gaze. She turns to him, a question forming on her lips as she watches the faint glow of his communicator. Maya speaks hesitantly. "Kalen, can I ask you something about your life?" Kalen's eyes soften as he nods, as if grateful for the chance to share more. "Of course, Maya. Ask me anything." "Back on your planet, is there someone special? I mean, someone you'd, settle down with?" Kalen pauses, a subtle smile tugging at his lips, his gaze distant for a moment. "There isn't. In my culture, such commitments are taken very seriously. When we choose a partner, it's for life. But not many women in my society are interested in the life I've chosen. Traveling from planet to planet, gathering samples, exploring distant worlds, most would prefer the comfort and stability of home." Maya nods, understanding his conflict. "That must be hard, knowing you want companionship but also loving what you do." Kalen chuckles softly, nodding as he speaks. "Yes, I've been reluctant to pursue a relationship because of it. Even if I were to find someone willing to join me, children are considered precious in our culture. Back on my planet, children are raised by a global collective, as well as by their parents. It's a way to give them the best of our society. And while we try to create that environment on my vessel, it's never quite the same. If I were to have children, I'd want to be settled, to give them that true sense of home." Maya watches him thoughtfully, absorbing this glimpse into his life and culture. "That sounds beautiful. The idea of raising children as a collective. It must make them feel so connected to everyone." Kalen nods, then says, "It does. But there's another layer to it. Something that makes finding a true partnership complicated. Back home, we are tested for genetic compatibility before forming any commitments. It's a precaution to ensure the survival of our species. But sometimes this means that people come together for the sake of continuity rather than for true affection." He looks down, his expression a mix of sadness and contemplation. "Many live together as partners out of necessity rather than love. It's one of the reasons I've hesitated to be with anyone. I want that connection to be genuine, not just for the sake of genetics. They fall silent for a moment, both taking in the depth of his words. As they sit together on the porch swing, Maya laughs at something Kalen says, feeling a warmth and ease that surprises her. She's known people for years without feeling this comfortable. They've spent hours talking about everything from their travels to their favorite views of the stars. But then a thought occurs to her, and her smile fades as she tilts her head, studying him curiously. Kalen, I just realized something. Yes? When we first met, I don't remember telling you my name, but you called me Maya, as if you'd always known it. How did you? She trails off, watching him carefully. Kalen pauses, his gaze softening as if he's been waiting for her to ask. You're right. You didn't tell me. I knew it because part of my species' ability is telepathy. I could sense it from you in the way that one recognizes a familiar melody. But there's something more, Maya. Maya leans in, intrigued and slightly taken aback. What do you mean, something more? Kalen's expression grows serious, and he speaks with a kind of reverence, as if unveiling a hidden truth. When I first saw you, I ran a health scan. I hope you'll forgive me. It's standard practice for us when we encounter new beings. But what I found surprised me. You, Maya, carry genetic markers from my people. Though you are earthborn, there's a part of you that is deeply connected to my species. Maya's eyes widen as she processes this. Wait, you're saying I have alien DNA? Kalen nods, his gaze filled with both wonder and a hint of sorrow. Yes, but more than that, your DNA holds dormant abilities. Abilities that my people naturally possess: telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, even clairvoyance and mediumship. All these abilities are within you, but they've been limited. Most beings on this planet have some type of alien DNA, but not many have markers from my people. Maya's brows knit in confusion. Maya, limited? How? When I examined your genetic structure, I found markers that indicated tampering. Other beings, other forces, have placed restrictions on your DNA. One of these restrictions limits your lifespan. Another caps your natural potential, blocking the abilities you would have inherited from my people. It is as though these abilities were shut off deliberately. Maya stares at him, feeling a mixture of anger, sadness, and curiosity all at once. So, you're telling me someone, or something, chose to limit what I could become, what I could do. Kalen reaches out, his hand hovering near hers without touching it, as if the gesture alone can offer comfort. Yes, it's an unfair and unnatural restraint. And, Maya, I want to give you a choice. A choice? I can undo these restrictions. I can offer you the chance to unlock these abilities, to restore what was taken from you. You would gain telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, clairvoyance, and mediumship. The life you know would change, yes, but you would be free to explore your full potential. Maya takes a long, steadying breath as her mind races. It's an incredible offer, but her thoughts are filled with questions. If I agree to this, will I know how to handle these abilities? I mean, that's a lot of power to take on. Kalen smiles reassuringly. If you choose to accept, I will guide you. And as you begin to unlock these abilities, they will emerge gradually. You won't be overwhelmed. My people have training methods that allow us to ease into our abilities, and I would be with you every step of the way. Maya's gaze shifts to the stars, imagining what her life might look like with these powers, with this newfound potential unlocked. And my lifespan, would it change too? Yes, restoring your abilities would also lift the restriction on your lifespan. You would live longer than most humans, much longer. You would have time to fully explore your powers, to travel, to understand this planet and beyond. The weight of the decision settles over Maya. She looks at Kalen, the man who, strangely, feels both familiar and extraordinary, as though they have known each other across lifetimes. It's a lot to think about, but there's a part of me that feels like I've been waiting for this, like something inside me has always known that I was more. Kalen nods with a gentle smile, sensing her readiness. Then, when you're ready, Maya, the choice will be yours. They sit in silence once more, the night stretching out before them, filled with infinite possibilities. After a pause, Kalen shifts, turning his gaze back to her, his expression curious. What about you, Maya? Do you know much about your genetic lineage? Your DNA carries rare markers, ones that I've only seen in my own species. It suggests a story, a very old, hidden story. Maya's eyes widen slightly as she considers this. She's always been intrigued by her family's history, but this revelation suggests something beyond anything she's known. I've done some digging, but only back through a few generations. My family's history is, well, pretty ordinary. I've never heard of anyone meeting anyone from space, let alone anything like this. Kalen looks at her thoughtfully, his expression both intense and gentle. That makes it even more intriguing. If your family holds these markers, it could mean your lineage has a connection with my people that was either lost or deliberately hidden. It may carry secrets that even your ancestors were unaware of. Maya looks at Kalen curiously and hopeful. You think you could find out? I mean, I'd be interested in knowing if there's something deeper to my family's past. It would explain a lot, actually. Kalen nods slowly, his gaze fixed on her as if seeing her anew. Yes, I believe I could look into it. I have access to certain records and genetic data from my home. It may take time, but I would be honored to help you uncover your heritage. Maya smiles. Thank you, Kalen. This means a lot to me. Kalen leans back, his expression softer now, yet filled with that same curiosity and intensity. And if I do uncover anything, I promise, Maya, I'll share everything with you. They both sit in silence again, the weight of the moment settling between them. The idea of her lineage containing something ancient, even otherworldly, fills her with a strange sense of wonder. And as she watches Kalen, a small part of her can't help but feel like she's rediscovering not just her own history, but his as well. They are connected, both by something vast and mysterious. In the quiet, Maya smiles to herself. Tonight feels like the beginning of something much greater than either of them could have anticipated. As they sit together under the stars, the conversation naturally drifts toward the personal, the deeper currents beneath their shared experiences. Kalen studies her for a moment, his gaze warm but curious. Kalen asks gently, "Is there anyone who has your heart, Maya?" Maya feels a rush of heat to her cheeks, the question catching her off guard. She draws in a deep breath before responding, her voice soft but steady. "No, not at the moment." She hesitates, then adds, "Relationships on Earth, they're complicated. Different, I think, from what you described. Dating here is, well, it's like a trial period where people figure out if they're compatible. We don't have genetic compatibility tests or anything like that. Sometimes it's beautiful, but it can be messy." Kalen tilts his head, intrigued by her words. "Messy? How so?" Maya glances at him, gauging his reaction, before continuing. "Humans bring a lot of their pasts into relationships. Unresolved traumas, insecurities. They come into play in ways that complicate things. Sometimes it works out, but often it's difficult. People end up hurt. We have a lot of single parents because of it. Some people find a way to co-parent well, others don't. Then there are couples who stay together, even when they've outgrown each other, and then, rarely, there are those couples who seem to find something real, like finding a unicorn." She pauses, a nostalgic smile tugging at her lips as she recalls the couple she met. Once, I met a couple like that. They told me the key to their relationship was kindness, to really commit to it, that even when you're angry, you give each other the benefit of the doubt. They said the strength of their relationship wasn't just about love, it was about respect and compassion, especially when it's hardest to be kind. Kalen listens intently, and a flicker of understanding crosses his face. He shifts slightly, his expression shifting through a range of emotions, thoughtfulness, admiration, even a hint of sadness. Maya notices and continues, her voice carrying a quiet vulnerability. I want a relationship like that, where it's not just about passion, but about truly supporting each other, where kindness and love are the foundation. Kalen meets her gaze, his eyes soft and sincere. You deserve that, Maya. A love that is steady and kind, just as you envision it. Maya feels her heart swell, her pulse quickening as his words sink in. Maya whispers, "And you deserve the love you want too, Kalen." They hold each other's gaze, a quiet intensity sparking between them, a look filled with mutual admiration, desire, and tenderness. The night grows deeper, and they slip into a comfortable silence, the unspoken promise between them glowing as softly as the stars above. The sky is shifting from deep night to the faintest hints of dawn, soft hues brushing the horizon. Kalen and Maya sit together in silence, watching the first signs of morning color the sky. Suddenly, a quiet chime sounds from Kalen's communicator, filling the air with a hum that feels out of place in the peaceful moment. Kalen tilts his head slightly, listening as a voice speaks in his native language, a fluid, musical dialect that Maya can't understand. He responds in kind, his words a gentle rhythm, as if he's reassuring someone on the other end. Then he turns to Maya, his expression filled with both regret and tenderness. "They're calling me back. My crew has completed our work here. It's time for me to go." Maya's heart sinks, the reality of their fleeting time together settling over her. She takes a deep breath, gathering her courage as she meets his gaze. Maya asks softly, "So soon?" Kalen nods, his eyes reflecting her sadness. "Yes, but before I leave, I need to ask you, are you ready? Do you want me to remove the restrictions on your DNA?" She pauses, her heart racing with excitement and a touch of fear. She knows her life will change in ways she can't fully understand, but with Kalen's offer, she feels ready. "Yes, I want to be everything I was meant to be." Kalen smiles, a warm, proud expression, as his gloves retract, revealing his bare hands. He reaches out, gently taking her hands in his own, his touch warm and grounding. His gaze meets hers, and she feels an intensity in his eyes, desire, affection, and an undeniable connection. As he focuses, a soft, radiant light begins to glow from his suit, enveloping them both. Maya feels an electric warmth pulsing through her, like waves of energy filling every cell in her body. Her senses sharpen, and she feels a lightness, as if her entire being is awakening. The sensations are powerful, almost euphoric, leaving her breathless. After a few moments, the light fades, and Kalen's hands relax in hers. He looks at her with a deeper gaze, his eyes filled with unspoken feelings that linger between them. Maya says, in an amazed whisper, I feel incredible." Kalen smiles, a glint of pride in his eyes. "Your abilities will awaken gradually. Rest and let your body adjust. It will take some time. After 72 Earth hours, you should be able to sense and even communicate with me." He carefully removes a small device from his communicator, a thin piece of nanotech that looks like a shimmering, transparent tattoo, and places it gently on her wrist. The material absorbs into her skin, leaving no trace. "This is a communicator. It will allow us to connect. When you're ready, think of me, and this will bridge our minds. Rest, Maya. Let your body integrate these changes." Maya smiles, her fingers brushing over the spot on her wrist where the communicator disappeared, feeling comforted by the knowledge that he'll be only a thought away. Thank you, Kalen, for all of this. Kalen lifts her hand to his lips, pressing a gentle kiss to her skin, his gaze lingering on hers. The gratitude is mine, Maya. Until we meet again. With one last look, he turns and begins to walk back toward his ship, the dawn light casting a soft glow over him. Maya watches, a bittersweet ache filling her heart as he ascends the cargo ramp, disappearing inside. The vessel hums to life, rising slowly into the air. She watches as it streaks into the sky, a flash of light that fades into the early morning. As the first rays of the sun break over the horizon, Maya stands there, her heart full and her mind alive with the new awareness of her true potential and the promise of a connection that transcends distance and time. If you've enjoyed this story, like, comment, and subscribe for more adventures with Maya and Kalen.